Hello, I am Kahmeela,
I'm Marcella.
and this is episode 146 of Revisiting Sunnydale. A little precursor, it's hot as beep in this mother beep, and so you may hear my AC going, because if it's not going, this won't happen. So I
Okay.
apologize for that if that bugs you. I'll try to get as much out as possible in editing, but them's the rules.
It do be like that sometimes. You just gotta go with
It
it.
do be like that sometimes. So, if you are trying to keep up with us for these last few episodes that we have left in the game, you can go visit our Facebook page at Revisiting Sunnydale. We're on Twitter at Back to Sunnydale, Instagram at RVS_podcast, and on Patreon, patreon.com/Revisiting Sunnydale. Basically, you can find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. And just remember to, subscribe and all that stuff so you know when new episodes are up.
Yeah.
Last time we did talk about, we got some listener email from Eric Servant, who had some great what ifs, that he shared with us. One of them, we read one of them last time, and this time there's another one. Like, what if Faith hadn't left Sunnydale, I think is the thing, or what if she had left Sunnydale?
Yeah.
And he says leaving Sunnydale would have been the best thing to happen to her. She wouldn't have gotten involved with Wilkins. And he thinks that she would have gone back to the East Coast. And it would have been interesting to see Wesley if he was sent to Boston to be her new watcher. Quote, Eric says, Wesley was a dipshit, but at least he wasn't like Gwendolyn Post. I think they would have grown on each other eventually. Probably.
Very true. Very, very
Yeah.
true. Yeah. That it rings true to this episode a little later. Then he
Yeah.
also left us one that has nothing to do with this episode, but it intrigued me so much that I wrote a quick little what if scenario.
Okay.
So he questioned, what if Willow was the one that got shot instead of Tara? So, strap in, folks. Here's what I think
right.
would have happened.
Here we go.
I think Tara would have become the opposite of what Willow was. Her grief would have led her to become the goddess witch, the ultimate white witch. She would have saved Buffy from death. She would have used her powers to summon Warren to her, and much like Cordelia sucked the anger out of Connor, she would have removed all the hate from Warren. Then, using her summoning powers, she would have sent him to jail right alongside Andrew and Jonathan. The three would then serve their prison sentences for the crimes they committed, in Sunnydale being the trio. Then, having depleted all of her goddess powers, Tara would return to the Summers house to find Dawn next to Willow's body. She tells her everything will be okay, tucks her hair behind her ear and kisses her forehead, places her hands over Willow's, and then they're enveloped in a bright white light and they both disappear. Dawn's left crying alone. Yeah, it ain't happy, folks. It's not happy.
It's not. It's so sad, but it's sweet and it's and beautiful. So I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that turn of events. I mean, it's not nearly as fun as, Willow being evil, but it makes more sense. It people come out a lot less a little more unscathed. People come out there's not as many awkward glances now at gatherings with that happening. It's like, because I'm going to remember that time you tried to kill me, Willow.
Right.
Always. I will always be looking at you kind of crazy.
Yep. I'll always remember the smell of the guy you flayed.
Yeah. So this episode, we're season 7, episode 20, Touched. Original air date May 6, 2003, written by Rebecca Kirshner, directed by David Solomon. Faith and the potential search underground for a weapon whilst Buffy confronts Caleb at the vineyard. There's a lot more that happens way before that.
Yeah, there really is.
I feel like there's not a lot to that summary.
Nope. That's why I liked it. Sometimes the IMDb summaries give everything away, and sometimes they're like, nope. Go do it yourself.
No. In this episode, we see the Scooby Gang. Important co-stars, Tom Lenk as Andrew, Kennedy, D.B. Woodside as Robin Wood, Eliza Dushku as Faith, Nathan Fillion as Caleb, Felicia Day as Vi, and Harry Groner as Mayor Richard Wilkins. I saw his name recently in something I was watching, and I couldn't remember why I knew the name, but he didn't pop up. Like, I must have fallen asleep before it was over, whatever it was, before he came on screen. But I remember seeing his name in opening credits or something. But I was like, why do I know that name?
It's the mayor. It's old, good old Harry.
Good old Harry. So there's basically chaos. You know, if you remember last episode, they kicked Buffy out because, you know, she was being Buffy, and they were sick of it.
Yeah.
And
but
without Buffy, to force her opinion on everybody, they all don't really know what to do. So it's like kind of chaotic there. They're all just kind of going round and round with, we should do this, we should do that. Listen to me. No, listen to me. And with all these plans, it is. It really
Amanda's being super irritating. Kennedy's being a little too big for her britches. Like, I'm going to need you to simmer down.
It's like, seriously, anybody who hasn't been here over 5 years, I need you to shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know what's happening right now. You fall in line where you go. There is a no matter what they're trying to sell you, there's a hierarchy. And like, we've been in this game much longer than you children, so let's not do this. Like, shut your mouth. Speak when spoken to.
Exactly. And Faith is more like that meme of Homer Simpson trying to just disappear into the hedges. She wants nothing. She doesn't want to be a leader.
She really doesn't want this. She really doesn't want this at all. But she's taking it as best as she can. Like, she's not shirking her responsibilities, but it's very obvious that Faith would rather not be the one to make the big decisions.
Yeah.
And but she's trying her best. She's really trying. And then the power goes out.
And these bitches, come on. Have you never had the power cut out in your whole life?
Well, you know, I guess they assume that this means it's an attack on them specifically, but Faith looks out the window and sees that the whole block is out, and she deduces that the power company has just left Sunnydale.
Much like everyone else in town.
Yeah. Like, all right. So now they make plans by candlelight. And this kind of pisses me off. We got Buffy strolling through the neighborhood, and people are madly, just chaotically leaving and fleeing their homes. They are literally fleeing their homes. And she just kicks the door down to some dude's house. Dude rolls out of the back, is like, with a shotgun, like, get the fuck out of my house. And she's like, unfazed, oh, sorry, I didn't think anybody would be home. So you turn around and leave.
Right. Right. And then she says, it's not your house. Bitch, I paid the mortgage. It's my house. Is your name on the bills? Is your name on the mail?
It's like, I beg your pardon.
Plus, there were a ton of houses on the street with doors that were open and people just actively fleeing. Why are you bothering this poor man?
Right. You know what? I can't put my finger on it, but this feels racist.
I feel a certain way about it, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And so he kind of like, she refuses to leave. She just starts walking through the house, and he's like, well, I guess she's crazy, so I'm going to leave. And he abandons his home. He takes nothing with him.
Nothing with him. He's just like, you know what? This is a certain level of crazy I'm not ready to deal with. I'm going to go. I'm just going to leave everything behind. And then she has the audacity to ask him if he has any tab.
Buffy, this is 2003. I don't remember tab still being a thing in 2003.
No, I don't. I mean, it is now. It did come back, but
I'm not sure it
came back. It did make a comeback. You can get it.
Where are people buying? I don't even know if I've ever actually had a tab. If I've ever tasted a tab in my life. Is it more like a Dr. Pepper?
It's more like a Dr. Pepper, but sweeter somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not something you want. No.
It's so random. Yeah, it's like.
And then I think about Warm Tab from that Brendan Fraser movie. No, I don't. Ugh, gross. Gross.
And so he goes through his fridge, you know, it's all abandoned. In the meantime, Andrew and Spike are stuck at the church waiting for the sun to go down. And Andrew is tap dancing on Spike's last nerve. He is playing I Spy. They're trying to play I Spy.
He's trying to become besties. He wants to be his friend.
Spike isn't playing along. Spike, he's being very just defiant about the whole thing and refuses to just let nature take its course and let them just be the best friends they should be. Damn it.
Yep.
But they all come to the conclusion to just go ahead and they'll go with Faith's plan to go grab a bringer, and they use Kennedy as bait, and they catch a bringer to get info. But it turns out his tongue has been ripped out, so that's not gonna help. And that's like kind of brings me to like my burn of the week, where Giles comes into the room and he's like, "Well, you know, it turns out the bringers are dumb. He's dumb." And Anya is like, "Well, what do you expect? A rogue scholar?" And
it's like, okay, that's so
like Giles like, no, he has his tongue ripped out. He can't speak. But luckily, Dawn, just as you do, has been reading a Turkish spell book just for funsies, and she knows of a spell that can still get info from the bringer. And Willow knows of the spell too, and I love this. Willow is like, "Oh yeah, the translation of whatever." Dawn's like, "There's a translation of it."
I'm over it. That shows you how much she's grown,
right,
as a person.
She would have pouted like last year. She would have pouted about that for several hours. But spell,
she doesn't have time to pout. No time to pout.
The spell is to help communicate. The spell is to help communicate with people who can't speak. It's usually like something that they do for folks that are on their deathbeds. And so they're going to give this a whirl. See how that comes out. And Spike and Andrew return. And they tell Spike about Buffy being kicked out. And he does not take it well.
No, because Andrew comes back and starts, regaling them with tales of Spike's hog and what happened. And he can't read the room, but Spike can.
It's like, right.
And so Willow is like, okay, so some things happened. We all need to calm down and just take a breath.
And Buffy decided also that she may need a break. And so she's taking some me time.
And Spike said, "Bullshit! I call bullshit." You're all a bunch of liars.
You're liars. You're traitors. You're just ingrates. You're sad little, like, he just really starts to lay into them. I'm starting to think, Spike, you're still living here rent free too. So, I mean, you should just remember where the fuck you are.
And all the British comes out of him in this scene. Like, all of it. The swagger is back. The lean is back almost.
The way he grips himself when he confronts Faith. When Faith says something to him and he's like, "Ooh," and he embraces himself. And I'm
like, "Oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. Uh-oh. And it goes down.
Like, he punches Faith. He's like, "All right, it's way past words now. I'm just going to punch you in the face." And she's she leans back on the kitchen counter and kicks him in the face. And I love it. That's such a badass move.
It's such a Faith move, too.
It is. And she's like, "Oh, I think it's cute how Buffy's got you all whipped." She ain't lying.
No, she ain't lying. That would have been my burn, but yours was really good. And sadly, it's over before it starts, and he's like, "Fine, I'm out."
I was a little disappointed. I was like, let's see how Faith and Spike will get down, man. Come on, let's do it. Because I don't know who to root for, but I'm just rooting for a really good fight.
And then I also, during the fight, got confused as to whether Xander had to keep turning to see the fight. Did he have to keep moving? Like, how much does he see? What is his field of perception? Like, if the fight moved over here, he would have to move.
Yeah, you have to turn around.
See the fight.
Yeah, so there's only so much. That's awkward.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
Wow.
And I'd still be cussing Buffy out if I was Xander.
Every day.
Every time I saw her. Fuck
day.
You. Fuck yeah. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Yep. So he takes off to go find Buffy, and the gang decide they're going to work this spell.
He literally walks outside to sniff her out. He takes a big old whiff in the air.
Yep.
And follows
that
the
power.
trail.
They roll out
Yeah.
when it's necessary.
Ever so
He
often.
has used it like twice in the series before.
Right.
It's annoying.
So he goes off to find Buffy.
Yep.
And Willow starts on the spell. And it turns out, like, they think it's not working, but it's working through Andrew. Andrew is becoming the mouthpiece for the bringer.
It's so unfortunate because they think he's fucking about.
Right.
And because he was saying some stupid shit, just like Andrew. And then it like changed but didn't.
Right.
And then they're like, wait a minute, what? And then he's speaking for the bringer.
To me,
a bunch of nonsense.
Right. Like, he's saying some shit that I don't like. They're like, why are you here? What's your purpose? And he's like, to end the line of Slayers. Like,
I knew that.
Like, everything he says pretty much is what they know. It's just, and the only thing is like, oh, we're building a bunch of arsenals underground somewhere at the edge of town. And they think that's super helpful.
Yeah, they're a little dumb on that. Instead of pressing him for more information, Giles is just like, got it! Whoop!
Right? It's a little much. A little too fast, buddy.
A little too fast.
Like, that's a move somebody does if they're guilty. Like, if he's in on it.
Right.
Like, if Giles were the first or something like that, and he was like, all right, shut him up before he says something. But it's like, bruh, like, we probably could have used him for a little while longer. Just It's not like we're just going to go out and grab another one. Just, damn. It was just really, and then also like everybody was kind of aching for it because like immediately Kennedy like holds a knife to his throat. It's like, that's not even where we are. Like you're stepping outside of
showing off.
Space.
Stuff
Like,
showing off.
He's literally giving information right now. Stop it.
And poor Andrew, when the connection is severed as soon as Giles slits his throat, he's so upset about it because he basically felt that.
It's like, he could have decapitated me.
I need a lozenge.
He's like, I feel violated and I need a lozenge.
Because I just found out recently from a promo for The Blackening, apparently I would lose my black card because I didn't know this. But she's in trouble because she's in her street clothes on the bed. She's laying in her street clothes on the bed.
Which, by the way, that movie is excellent.
Is it?
It's hilarious. Yes. There's a nice
Maybe
little.
We'll react to it together.
Yes, that would be lovely.
First time watch for me and a
yeah,
second watch
that'll be awesome.
Okay.
Yes. So, Spike finds her and walks right in, and he just makes this, like, kind of off the cuff, just acknowledges the fact that he can walk right into this guy's house. But I want to understand why he can just walk right into this guy's house without an invite.
So I gave this some thought, and I think it is because technically that man abandoned that house the second he left. So any intention, that's what I'm thinking. So any intention of him coming back is gone. He no longer owns that home. He gave it up. So it belongs to no one.
Like fucking
Buffy
mystical.
Is just squatting there. So, hey, free reign. I bet Spike could go into any house in
That is
Sunnydale
so
right
wild.
Now.
Like the specifications, like the little fucking vampire mystical loophole of, okay, so we just happened, whatever being is in charge of vampires entering a person's home. They just keep tabs on who all abandons their home, and fine.
Like, okay. The house.
Sure.
There's a free house.
There's one that somebody's just like on a line, just like watching like a million monitors and just like typing
Texting
furiously.
Squatter's right, Sunnydale. And now the funny thing is, this is still Revelio Drive. It's just 2 houses down. She didn't go that far. That's why he just took a big whiff when he walked outside. It was just down the street.
It's not about like being like shit. I could have smelled her from the
right.
house from there.
I could smell her sulking from here. Because she is having a big girl sulk.
Yeah, and Spike starts to like mean girl Faith. He starts talking shit on her hardcore. Just the whole like, she's never that good. You can't trust her. That just Faith is, she sucks. We don't need her. You're the real Slayer. But Buffy is just like all up in her feelings. But then she starts to like really, she's starting to really like look at the man in the mirror. And she's starting to understand like, maybe the problem. She's Taylor Swift in it. She said, hey, it's me. I'm the problem. Mm-hmm. It's me.
Yep.
And but Spike tries to cheer her up and says, hey, you were right. Caleb is hiding something at the vineyard that you might want. It's really super special and important. Doesn't that make you feel good? Hey, get up. Let's go fight.
No. It's too late. I don't wanna. And she like curls up in a little ball. No.
I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do anything anymore. Boo.
And so, big old traitor Giles. Sorry, Giles Brothers. That's what he is this episode.
He's a traitor.
He is. He's just being Watcher to Faith, which good for her. She gets a good influence. But where was that? A couple episodes ago.
True story.
Just gave up on Buffy. So he's planning this run.
No, because he was still thinking about Spike is the only one who's had my back. So he was like, yeah.
He's still in his feelings.
He was like, you know what?
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. We're actually lucky he's not drunk on his ass on whiskey.
Right.
Still all up in his feelings.
I would be. On the way back to London. And once Giles leaves, surprise, Faith gets a visit from the first as the mayor. And it's just all Mayor Wilkins all the time.
And did they not tell her that this was a possibility this could happen? Because she's just like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? No. You're not.
Yeah, somebody gave her some sort of rundown because she's like, you're not him. Leave. Go. Bye. They told me about you. I know what you're trying to do. Shut the fuck up. Blah. And he's trying to like do all this business of like, yo, I'll prove it's like, yes, I am the first, but I'm also who I am embodied, like who I am making you, who's I'm taking form of. So ask me anything. Ask me anything that I might know. Where'd I hide my moon pies? who is my favorite little woman? And he goes off about Joe and Meg or something. As if Faith ever read Little Women.
Right.
Like, come on.
I forgot who he was talking to.
Right. He kind of goes off on a tangent. He's just going back and forth, just going on and on about who he really is and how much she means to him. And basically, Buffy is dangerous. You need to watch your back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the same thing.
She still has that same little, you can see she has that same relationship with him. Like, it makes you worry for a second. Like, don't listen.
Yeah.
Don't listen. But before we get a chance to see if she listens or not, we cut back to Buffy and Spike. And
they're still
Spike's just yelling at her.
He's moved on to tough love.
Yep. And it's gotten to the point where she's sitting up in bed now because he's hands on hip yelling at her.
But he does start, then he switches from this tough love yelling to like, you know what? It is a mess over there without you. Those girls need you. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah. There's like cereal boxes everywhere. It's like, it's chaos. It's like everyone is very frightened and unkempt.
And it's true. I bet that house smells real bad.
I'm sure. And he even offers to kill Faith for her. It's like, I'll make it look like a very painful accident.
Oh. You gotta love Spike. I know it's been a lot. But then all throughout the back and forth we get to what is possibly the best monologue in the history of pep talks.
Yes.
And Spike breaks it down for Buffy and tells her everything that she means.
Because she tries to say that, I've been the problem because I'm the one. I've always cut myself off from everybody. I don't let myself get close enough or connect with anybody. And he was like, we did some connecting. And, hey, not the time, buddy. And he just goes on to tell her, like, you know what, I love you not because I want you or I need you and all that jazz. It's like, I love what you are and what you do and how you try. I mean, that's the gist of it. And it's just, and he goes on to say some more really nice and sweet, genuine stuff to her. And she gets all teary eyed. It's like,
she looks like she's going to explode.
And he's like, he finishes up with, you're the one. And she's like, I don't want to be the one.
And the saddest, like, little girl voice, too. It's almost heartbreaking.
Yeah.
For a split second, you can see everything that Buffy has had thrust upon her shoulders in these 7 seasons. That she never asked for. She just had to make the best of.
Truth.
So if she was selfish every now and again?
I mean, you know, I feel like she should really, I mean, I know I talk a lot of shit about Buffy in these last few seasons, but she should get some sort of a pass because she was ripped from heaven because her friends were too selfish to think that maybe she was in heaven and not in a hell dimension when she was dead. Yep. It's just, I mean, there's so many things, like y'all got to be like the tightest group of folks ever because there's so much stuff that, like, I don't know if I can ever speak to you again.
No, like, every day. Every day at breakfast, it would just be like, a shame circle.
Like, you know, I was done. I was done and happy.
Yep.
and just at peace.
Yep. It would be Buffy giving Willow the stink eye for bringing her back from the dead. Then Willow casting some stink eye on Xander for lying to Buffy at the end of season 2. And then Xander giving Buffy stink eye for getting his eye ripped out. It is just a circle of stink eye.
It's
every
terrible.
Morning in the Summer's house.
Terrible. It's after Spike pours his heart out to Buffy yet again. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to go. Let you get some sleep. And she's like, no, stay. And he's like, all right, I'll sleep in the chair. And she's like, no, I want you to cuddle.
Here. I want you to stay here.
She doesn't actually say the word cuddle, but that's what she wants.
That's what she meant.
So they cuddle. It's really
Spike
sweet.
Does the old cartoon. I'll be right there.
And as you know, the first as mayor is like saying some more shit to Faith, and he finally disappears, and then Wood happens to walk in to talk to Faith, and she's all defensive and just like weird, and he's like, yo, I didn't mean to walk in on whatever the fuck this was. I'm gonna go. And so she finally
she tells him, what are you gonna do with the pal and principal?
Right. It's like, ma'am, like, we're on the same side. Why do we why?
And she makes a good point. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm just real freaked out. I'm super freaked out right now.
She tells him about her visit, and then he's like, oh snap, this means you're in the game because I got a visit from my mama.
Let me close this door. Let me make sure that nobody hears our business. Let me just close this door right quick.
Which like everybody knows that this is happening, but he
does mention something about like that the first found her Achilles heel, and she's like, what? It does a heel thing too?
He's like, no, it just means he found your weak spot. She's like, oh. Awkward. Embarrassing.
She's like, oh. Is this the Slayer we need? I'm not sure.
It's like, okay, well, all right, yeah, as an educator, I am offended. So they chit-chat, they talk, they have a heart-to-heart, but then it turns into, yo, you want to get sweaty? You want to get nasty? And they're like, he's like, sure, I'm pretty sure Faith initiates it. And he's like,
she sure does. He's like, I'm going to let you get some sleep, I'm going to take off, and she's like, no, hey, how about you don't?
And he's like, say more things.
Yep. And then my favorite part is like, she's like, is this okay? And he's like, hey, you're the boss.
All right. He's like, whatever.
All right. Let's go. And this kicks off like a cascade of everybody get busy this episode. Like, what?
Yeah, it's awkward because then we go to
Willow the start of everyone getting busy.
Yeah, we go to Willow and Kennedy, and Kennedy has kicked all the girls out of the room, and she's being all whatever. Moving on. I don't even. Yeah. What?
She's being aggressive, actually.
So aggressive.
Like, she's not reading the room either. Willow's clearly uncomfortable. And she even turns her back to her at one point. I just don't like it.
It's too much. Like, she's been there a month, 2 months maybe? Like, a month at best. Like, you're doing too much too fast. Stop it.
I'm not feeling it.
And then Xander and Anya are eating ice cream and being jealous of everyone getting some loving.
And it makes me wonder, like, why, from a writing perspective, what was the point of breaking the two of them up? And then we get too much of Kennedy's tongue ring. And everyone's uncomfortable. But groundbreaking. This was one of our random trivia facts that this was the first lesbian sex scene on TV. So.
Really?
Yep.
I guess we're not counting Tara and Willow at the musical.
No, because it wasn't a full-on sex scene. It was just alluded to.
Wow. Huh. The very first. Interesting. Huh. All right. So I guess the next day or later that night or whenever everybody's done, they all round up and they decide that some of them are going to go off to the arsenal and some of them are going to go spy on Buffy. And Faith is weird with Wood. He's like, "Where do you want me, Faith?" And she's like, "Here, by your phone. I'll call you if I need you."
He's just like, I have misunderstood the situation. It reminds me of that scene where Buffy threw when Buffy threw the money on Spike in the alleyway. That's the look on Spike's face, on Wood's face.
Yeah, it's like, huh? All right, like, here you go. Cover up your tits, friend. Oh, so the kids go to the arsenal, and Buffy goes to the vineyard. Like, she gets her groove back. She's ready to fight. So she goes to the vineyard. Snuggle fest with Spike, and she's ready to go. Now she's ready to rock. And she tells Caleb, "I heard you have something of mine," or something like that. It's like, "I want it back. I came to get what's mine." And so they fight a little bit, and then so we go back and forth. Like, the girls, Faith and them, are at the arsenal, and they find all of these like weapons and swords and bombs and there's all these explosives and shit like that. And they're like, "Why would somebody abandon all this?" And
why are you so dumb?
Friends, my sisters in Christ, it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap, sweetums. It is a trap. And some bringers come out of the fucking shadows. And so there's fighting going on there, and there's fighting going on at the vineyard, and Buffy finds a trap door at the vineyard and goes in it.
Yep. Hilariously goes in it because Caleb has been blocking the trap door and doesn't want her to get in it. So she realizes that he's keeping her away from it. And she manages to lure him out by, she's pissing him off, but she's just evading him. He keeps trying to get her. It's like swatting a fly.
He calls her a whore. And then she's like... And she insults him. She's like, if somebody didn't know you, they would think you were a misogynist, woman-hating jerk. And then for whatever reason, that gets his goat.
There's a little trivia line about that I didn't include. Originally, when it aired, the line was a woman-hating prick. But it was altered for the DVD, like the FX replays, and now it's in the DVDs and streaming. It's woman-hating jerk.
Well, good. I'm glad it was something a little more harsh originally, because jerk just kind of, when I heard it, I was like, it kind of fell flat, but okay, I get your point.
But like, you take the time to redub that line, but you don't remove Faith's use of the R word a little earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Priorities, guys. Priorities.
So shit is going down, and Buffy gets in that little hole, slides right in it. It's a great little. She just slides right down in that hole
so easy.
Fear of if she's gonna hit her head or not.
I know, like, she fits just perfectly. It's just like, and she finds the most beautiful Sith thing.
Size.
So I don't. I don't know. It's pretty.
It's shiny.
It's so shiny and pretty. It's red and silver, and it's just gorgeous. And she's like, "Ha! This must be mine.
This is from me. I like it."
And the faith in them are still fighting through, and then I think finally, like, they get the bringers off of them, and Faith unlocks a box, and holy shit snacks, it's a box full of explosives with 7 seconds left on a timer.
Yep. We done fucked up.
Credits.
We done fucked up.
It's like, oh, this is wrong. This is so wrong. We've done wrong. Buffy, would you like to come back and lead? Because apparently I am not that much better at this gag than you.
And I mean, as close as we see the aftermath in the next episode, but as close as they were to that bomb, they should all be dead.
Yeah, there's no way. 7 seconds. Like, I don't care. Like, maybe Faith with some Slayer speed, but the rest of them are still potentials. Like, that's...
Mm-hmm. They don't even have full, so, like, she should have lost an arm or something.
Yeah.
Something. I don't buy it.
But no, they all make it out. Or do they? I don't know. I don't remember, actually.
We don't
we'll
know
find
yet.
out.
Credits.
Yeah, we'll find out next episode, which is... End of Days is the next episode. There's 2 left in the season. It's in the series.
Yeah.
Song of the week?
It is the one that everybody got busy to. It's Only Love from Heather Nova.
And
it's a
Bodies dropped. It is.
We had a lot of bringers die in this episode.
Yeah.
One got stabbed by Kennedy. One got stabbed by a no-name Slayer. One got his throat slit by Giles. Another one got stabbed by V. And another one got stabbed by Faith. It's stabbings all around.
Does it pass the Bechdel test?
I think yes, because mostly it's about Buffy. Talking about Buffy.
There's still a lot of talk about Buffy.
Mm-hmm. Now, according to the original prop, our last random trivia is that the letter that Buffy left behind for Spike read, "Spike, you told me things last night that I really needed to hear. I feel stronger now because of you. I know what my mission is and that Caleb's holding the secret to it all. This one I'll have to take care of alone. You take care too, Buffy." Yeah.
I don't think I ever even recognized that that she left a note.
Me either. Me either. Moral of this story is, be kinder to the people that pay your mortgage.
Yeah, that feels right. That feels right. So join us next time when we talk about
End of
Days. In the meantime, you can give us your thoughts on Touched by sending us an MP3 file less than 2 minutes to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com. Don't forget to please contact us and let us know what you think we should do for the very last episode, how we should go about this, and what should we do for the next iteration of this podcast. Should we be revisiting Supernatural, revisiting the Winchesters, or revisiting LA with Angel? Let us know.